Hey everybody, Joey Fatone here, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. That's right, I'm considered the mayor of Orlando because I've been living here for so long, but I want to show you guys what Orlando truly is. Now we got Richard Blais coming out, world-renowned chef. He's going to be teaching me about flavors and stuff like that. I cannot wait. We're going to find out what keeps us together and have that friendly bond here on Common Ground.
Dude, Joey Fatone, man, thank you so much for having me at Universal Studios.
Are you kidding me, Richard? My pleasure. I am so excited. We have so many things to do, so let's just get underway. Let's go.
Okay, where are we going? Joey Fatone, you're a global icon. You could live anywhere in the world.
Right.
But you live in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, I moved here many, many moons ago with my family. It's literally a melting pot of culture here.
It really is. It is such a big international city.
Yeah. What brings you here to the city?
I mean, okay, so I have a restaurant called Flamingos over at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, but I also have a family filled with Floridians. Now listen, I'm a Joey Fatone fan. So I know you got your start here in Universal.
Yes, I actually was here doing the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review show at Universal Studios. I was actually in high school at the time, right across the street from here at Dr. Phillips High School. I was doing 5 shows a day, you know, singing and dancing in 95-degree weather in fur. Now I've done Broadway where it was 8 shows a day, and even with NSYNC, you're doing all these repetition of the same show. So you basically kind of have to make sure that you're doing the same thing and make it act like it's fresh, like it's brand new, like it's never been done before for every audience that comes out.
Right, so you sort of figured out the grind aspect.
Oh yeah, the grind aspect that not many people know about.
I never get the opportunity to truly visit Orlando because I'm always working.
Well, this is why I'm here and you're here, because we are going to do that.
There it is, there it is.
There it is.
This is gonna be epic.
So I'm really kind of excited because I'm gonna be opening up a Fat Ones here in City Walk.
Fat Ones is an epic name.
Yes, it's a hot dog place. We did this small mini dogs called a Boy Bander, and it was 5 small dogs, and it had all these different flavors to it. So it was really, really cool. So we're very excited that we're actually gonna be having Fat Ones here at City Walk coming soon.
Amazing, dude. I can't wait to have one. Can I get on the opening list for that?
100%.
Okay.
You will be right there.
I always loved coming to Orlando as a kid too, because it's just filled with all this joy and wonder and excitement.
Well, speaking of joy and excitement, do you like things that are fast?
I do like, my last name is Blais.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you like motorcycles?
Yeah. Why?
Say no more.
Here's my question. What house is Richard Blais?
Slytherin.
Slytherin? How dare you think that I'm Slytherin? Maybe. Half Slytherin, half Ravenclaw. Let's go, come on. I'm a Hufflepuff. I don't know why I said that.
Dude, no matter how many times I ride it, it just gets better and better, I feel. And I love just taking new people on it all the time because it's so exciting.
Now listen, I love roller coasters, and obviously Orlando's known for that.
Right.
But where else do you go in Orlando when you're visiting?
Ah, my friend, let me show you. Winter Garden, home of Plant Street Market. It's really cool. Wait until you see what's in here.
It's not another roller coaster.
No, it's not. No, it's a different kind of ride. In your mouth.
Oh, that's cool. Man, I love it already. It smells so good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The minute you come in here, you smell all these different smells. The espresso, you're seeing honey, they have chicken, they have sushi. But the main thing we're here for is actually Crooked Can Brewery, which is absolutely by far one of the best breweries here in Central Florida. Good to see you, brother. You doing all right?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Richard,
How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Richard, pleasure.
Welcome. Okay.
Would you mind giving us a little tour over there?
Let's do it. This right over here, this is the brew house. So this is where the recipe gets put together. All the grain goes in, the hops, the hot water, the boiling. So our goal is always to have super fresh beers. You want to try a beer out of the tank?
try a little bit.
Let's do it.
You can tell the difference. You really can.
Yeah, it's got that like velvety mouthfeel to it.
It's like the carbonated version of like freshly baked bread.
100%.
He's more famous than I am.
All right, fellas.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. Munich style lager, a New England style IPA. You got a amber lager, and then a little bit of Irish stout.
Thank you. Shall we?
Cheers.
Cheers again. Yeah. Is this a typical day in the life of Joey Fatone or what?
If I could every day, I would. That'd be amazing. But the typical day is depending on where I am and what's going on. Yes, I live in Orlando, of course, but I do travel so much. And I have 2 daughters. One is 25, so she's out of the house, but I still have a 16-year-old. So every week, every other week, I get my child. So I'm usually trying to be home on the one week, and then I work the next week, you know, depending on what happens and goes on. But yeah, usually I'm just chill at home, take my kid to school in the morning, do the normal things. I clean the house, I do laundry, I do it all. So,
I love that. How different is that from like the grind of touring for so many years?
It's amazing.
Great. Okay.
It's
Good.
great for the change, 100%.
Right.
When there's time to sit and relax and kind of reflect, especially in Florida, especially in Orlando, like I said, coming out here and just taking a break, a chill. It's beautiful out right now.
It really is.
That's
It
actually
really
one of the
is.
things. Sometimes the sun blazes, which is amazing, and that's when you get the suntan. But right now is the perfect time to hang out, chill, have a drink, and just reflect.
Oh man, perfect. Speaking of drinking, I'm gonna pop into the second flavor over here. IPA.
Very citrusy on
Okay,
that one.
I'm glad you said it first, and I don't know why I was nervous as a chef to be
Don't
like,
be nervous.
it's citrus, but
Yeah.
it's almost a little citrus peel.
Yeah.
That's when you're a snob, by the way, when you're like, no, it's not citrus, it's citrus peel.
Because it's got that little bitterness to it right there. That's interesting.
This is kind of a day right here, dude.
Yeah, this
I can't believe I'm hanging out with Joey Fatone.
Come on, dude.
Doing a flight. Cheers again.
Cheers again.
Okay, now it's time to eat a little bit. I want to take you now to my Orlando and head to Four Flamingos.
Say less. Do not go anywhere because there's more to come.
There he is, looking good, man. You're looking dressed up for
I know
dinner,
we had to
man.
get dressed up, but I didn't know about this. What is going on?
Welcome to the caves, Joey. Do you want to check them out?
Let's do it. Check them out.
That's Four Flamingos, or at least the bottom of one of the floors of Four Flamingos.
I'm ready. Hungry.
Joey, welcome to the Four Flamingos kitchen. This is our team here, and this is the team's leader. This is Chef Josue, otherwise known as Sauce Poppy.
Oh, Bobby. Pleasure.
Throw it down. Yes, there it is.
When you have all these people in there, and it gets very exciting, very hectic, how do you guys keep your cool and maintain and be, dare I say it, in sync with everyone in the kitchen?
Yeah, listen, it's all about striving for that one goal to get the food out, to make sure that it's delicious. But I think we all, whether it's a band or a kitchen team, we work off of that intensity, right? Like you like when you're sort of in it.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know if it's the same for musicians or a band, but like sometimes it doesn't go perfectly, but
And
the
that's
guest
okay.
never knows.
That's okay.
The audience might not never
No,
know, right?
that's why you gotta sprinkle a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it all goes well. I am excited. I'm very, you know, I go to a lot of restaurants in Florida.
Of course you
I
do.
will say that, in Orlando, but by far, knowing and being here with you, I'm ecstatic because I know you know
I do.
exactly how everything is prepared here. which
Yeah,
I'm
I do, and it's also a little nervous for me because it's like, do you ever watch your own performances?
I
know what I'm
exactly,
saying.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
exactly what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, you have to though. You know what I mean? You have to taste your own food and know exactly
It is
what's
true,
going on.
and
Same
and
thing.
a lot of times you get the best perspective from being in the audience, not necessarily on stage. But Four Flamingos, I will say, is one of the restaurants I've created where it's like very, very close to my heart. Like this is about vintage Florida, all the memories I have of coming down as a New Yorker,
Yep.
you know, driving to Orlando, my mom jumping out of the car and like stealing an orange off of
Gotcha.
someone's tree, and like the things when you don't live here
Yeah.
that you really want to eat, right? Seafood, citrus, all of those things that are iconically Floridian. And one thing that's not to be missed, as I see it coming over your shoulder here, is our cocktail program
Ooh,
here.
Okay. I do enjoy a cocktail. Wow.
One of the best parts of the menu here.
So we got a Resort and Relax. It is Monkey's 47 gin, lavender syrup, honey, and guanabana.
and that's a bubble. You know, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool and pretty delicious. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wow.
All right, I think, one more cheers.
Cheers.
We've had a few today, but
Yes, sir.
to me, Orlando's about vibrant colors, big personalities, big flavors, and Four Flamingos has this incredible tropical vibe to it as well.
Well, I'm loving it,
Yeah.
and I know that I have a big personality, so this place will match perfect with me.
You do. I've just sort of gone out on a limb and picked like the signature dishes of the restaurant,
Okay.
crowd favorites. So we have a tostada coming, we have an empanada coming, some pork belly, and then like our signature swordfish chop and a Brazilian seafood stew called the moqueca. Yeah,
Bless you.
yeah. Joey, I'm gonna ask you as an Italian American, what's one dish that like you can still like, you remember like the smell of growing up or
You
something
know,
that was cooked at home? That was
It's always like the linguine and clam sauce, believe it or not. And I wasn't a huge clam person though, but I love it. But
I gotta give you a
it's
fist
the
bump.
smell. It's the smell of it that just reminded me of home. Also, again, during the time of Christmas time, you do the 7 fishes.
Yes.
You know, as Italians. So you had you were smelling all the different fishes, and you the fried galamad, and then you're doing the chicken parm stuff, and then it's amazing. Why did you become, or how did you become a chef? Like what possessed you?
I sort of just was always in a kitchen. I played sports when I was young, and then I was always working to sort of just make, change for lunch or whatever it was. And I realized that the camaraderie of being on a sports team and working in a kitchen are the same. So I just loved it. I just loved like that intensity. And then Orlando, that was easy for me because it's such an international city. There's over 50 Michelin recognized restaurants right now. So I love when I'm in Orlando just as a guest. So it was a perfect fit for me.
It's great. This is amazing.
Joey, you were at like the peak of pop culture trends and
Right.
hipness and coolness in the 90s, right? What is it like to sort of go to the next level from that?
It's one of those things where when you're in a group, they label you as a group at first, in a sense. It's very difficult to kind of sometimes get out of that. And I think when I actually did Dancing with the Stars, believe it or not, was something that kind of, when I did that, came out of my shell, if you will, and people saw my personality as an individual, not as a group. And then even prior to that, around the same time NSYNC was going on, I did a little film called My Big Fat Greek Wedding. How can, lightning in that sense hit twice for me, as far as being one of the major pop artists, as far as a group is concerned, and then now hitting one of the biggest romantic comedies of all time. I mean, it's insane. It's really crazy to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would ask you what the secret to the recipe is, but I think from hanging out with you all day, I know what it is. You're authentic. You're an authentic
What you
dude.
see is what you get.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't
right?
sugarcoat it.
do you think that is like part of the recipe then?
I think so. I think it's got a little bit of it, again, and I think, a sense of awareness and a sense of who I am and know where I came from. I mean, that's a thing. Sometimes people get to their heads in the industry or whatever the case may be. They get a little bit full of themselves and understand this is where you came from.
How did you not let that happen?
I think my parents would have kicked my butt.
Wow, I love that. Okay.
Oh, we got here is our Brazilian seafood stew, or how would they call it, moqueca. This is our Neptune cut swordfish with a black lime seasoning.
Fantastic.
See,
Love
now-
it, Chef. Thank you so much. So when you ventured out on your own, right? Like you're sort of out of the orbit of the group and the band. I know you all made it work. But were there times where it was a little harder than others? Were there challenges?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely ups and downs, exactly the pressure of being young and being in the public and knowing right from wrong in a sense, you know what I mean? And it's you make mistakes, you're going to have the ups and downs, or, I'm going to buy things for no reason. I did some silly things, when I got money.
I want to know one thing you bought that you're like, was silly.
I bought the Knight Rider kit car. I have one from the
That
TV
is cool.
show. So I have
bought
it.
the
Yeah,
car
it's
from
one of
Knight
the
Rider.
cars. It was about, I think there was a few, 13 of them or something like that. I can't remember
Wow.
what I made. And there was one that was in an auction that I got, and I still have it till this day.
You
It's in
are
storage
so
right
much
now.
cooler than I am.
Such a dork.
Like if you ask me that question, I'd be like, I bought Julia Child's spoon.
See, but that's amazing. I know who Julia Childs is, so I know. Come on now.
Do you think people expect you to be Joey Fatone of the 90s? Or like Are you allowed to be like your present self? Like, you
Because now I look like Santa Claus more than I look like a guy from NSYNC.
don't look like Santa.
It's
Santa's not that handsome.
Well, this Santa's sexy, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, it's one of those things where, with age, for me, I'm okay with it. But I don't try to go back on it. I'm always moving forward.
So
you know what I mean?
I listen, as a chef, when this dish, we cook hundreds of them a day, right? Sometimes it can get tiring to like cook the same dish
amazing.
over and over and over.
It's good.
Do you have like a song or a performance that you're just like,
Well, Bye 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 is one of them, of course. I mean, Bye Bye Bye.
okay, I just wanted to get you to say bye
times,
bye bye.
How many times can I sing Bye Bye Bye? I mean, let's be real. Or when people come up, they're like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, good, how are you? Everything great? Okay, cool. Bye Bye Bye. What really satisfies and gratifies you as far as, I'm sure like more or less of, yes, cooking and all that stuff, but what's the other side?
I mean, I think one is like even evidence here with like my team members here. It's like having the ability to know that you could point someone in the same direction that maybe you were in. And then with, family, like as much as we love what we do, the hard work is happening at home most of the time.
True.
And, it might be fun to be traveling the world and doing all these cool things, but, there's kids at home, my wife's at home, and like there's
We both have daughters.
we both have
two daughters.
we both have a teenage daughter, right? You have a teenage daughter. I have two. That's real life, that's the stuff. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not glamorous.
Nope.
And it's not easy for them sometimes. For your kids, like they have to be Joey Fatone's kids
Yeah.
sometimes. You're just dad. You're not a superstar.
Exactly.
Same for me, like as a chef, I'm cooking at home and they don't like my food sometimes. And I'm like, I'm Richard Blais.
Yeah, we talk about people love my
Like people pay me to cook for them. And what do you mean you don't like this grilled cheese sandwich?
I was about to say, speaking of like cooking, like does your kids cook? Do they dabble? Do you help them?
I think one of them, I think they could cook for survival. I think we're still in like the grilled cheese sandwich cereal sort of world.
Right, same.
But I'll tell you what, when people are like, do you want your kids to do what you do? Which I'm sure you get a lot.
Always.
And it's like, not really. Because I know the pitfalls of it. I know how hard it is. Like being a chef alone is super demanding. Now I've chosen to be a chef who also entertains as well.
Right.
Two of the hardest
that's
industries
tough.
ever. I'm not pushing them towards it. What about you and...
Well, to say, it's one of those things. Just give them the opportunity.
Right.
My oldest went and she actually did like this little thing, this video, and she did the whole thing, and I was standing there back there like a stage dad watching it, going, okay. I didn't say anything. After it was all said and done, she did a great job. I said, what'd you think? She goes, it's not for me. It was like, did not want to do with it, but hey, I'm glad what she's doing now. She's 25 now. She's a nurse, becoming a nurse practitioner. I can't complain. The other one though, she does have the bug a little bit. She did a little. She was the plant in Little Shop of Horrors. She was one of the puppets, so she did one of the puppetry there, and kind of did that. And she wants to do more, I guess, more theater. So.
I know you're doing so many different things now, but do you miss touring in the 90s and that vibe? And that energy?
I definitely miss the vibe. I miss performing with my four other brothers, but I do get a chance to perform with some of them in different realms and different aspects, and I get to perform and do other things as well. I've been doing a show called Joey Fatone and Friends where I do other performances and sing other people's songs. That's been great. It's been a lot of fun. So not that I miss the performing, because I'm still performing, but I didn't get a chance. Do I miss, being with my brothers? 100%. It was fun.
What you just said that really struck me is like brothers. You said brothers.
Yep.
And like I feel like genuinely you mean that.
Yeah,
it's not
no,
just like
100%.
teammates.
No,
because
no.
brothers is different than teammates. That's like now it's like family.
It's
right?
a bond, yeah,
Yeah.
man. And we hung out, birthdays, Christmas, dinners, Thanksgivings, you name it. Things that we missed, we were all together.
No, listen, for what you've accomplished, none of it's luck, right? It's all hard work meets blah blah blah. But was there
Same.
was there a moment that you were just like, man, I was in the right place at the right time?
100%. I think
what was it?
I think it's everything. In the beginning of something, I always said, good luck. You were lucky on that shot. Yeah, lucky enough to get that open and have that door open. But luck didn't carry me to do the career. Luck didn't help me do it. Luck may be the first shot, but then I have to carry that over, just like anything else. Maybe your first dish you got, or the first thing, you're like, oh my gosh, I did this competition, you won it. But now you got to figure out what's the next step. Thank goodness with NSYNC, it kind of went full circle, and I got the chance to do, Rent on Broadway and Little Shop of Horrors, which has been great. It's been awesome.
Dude.
It's a crazy whirlwind. Come on, dude. Even though
Yeah.
you cook food, you could get out there and do some more stuff like that.
No,
You do
listen.
acting.
I've dabbled, not as much as you, but like I think for me, it is like the cooking was the conduit to the other creative things. So like at first it was just like I like cooking for people because it makes them happy, right? And I think in my world, I was maybe not as happy as I wanted to be, but I could see happiness through guests' faces.
Gotcha.
And I was like, wow, I can do this thing. I could cook a piece of fish for someone and they smile. And then I got the opportunity to be in front of a camera and tell a joke or be funny or whatever it is. And then you're like, wait, I made them happy by not just cooking food, by saying something.
Right.
And then I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. And then it was like, that's the magic.
Yeah.
I just like making people happy.
awesome.
Doesn't matter if I'm cooking food. You would never want to hear me sing or dance, but like I get it. There's a lot of ways to be creative and perform to make an impact on people.
100%. Why do you feel like you need or want to make people happy?
Like I said, I think for me it was just always like that. Like as a kid, just like you want to make mom and dad happy. There's just something inside of me that was always like, I want to prove to a
feels
coach
good.
or
It
to a
feels
parent
good.
or an
It feels
instructor or a
good, though.
teacher.
Yeah.
It feels good. You want to get the gold star.
A lot of people always ask me, like, if I ever regretted anything, or if I look back on something, have I done anything like wrong? Should I, fix it? Is there anything that you ever regret?
I think for me, just because even with cooking, I started a little later. Now so many young people can watch cooking on social media, on television, and they're getting into it when they're 10 or 11. For me, I kind of found it a little bit late. So it's not necessarily a regret, but if I got to turn back time, I would start earlier.
I agree with you on that in the sense of learning certain skills.
Okay.
I wish I would have learned more piano and learned more music relativity in a sense. I think maybe I would have a little bit better understanding. I still do. I mean, I'm always learning, but I've never really took a class. You know what I'm saying? I never sat down. I think that's something that maybe the one thing I regret, but anything else and even the mistakes I've made, I don't regret any of it because, again, it made me who I am today and it made me know and be aware of the mistakes I made, never to do it again.
Yeah, I hate to, again, it sounds cliche, but you want to say, oh, I regret this failure.
No.
But all of the failures I've had led to the, positive thing that happened after that,
Yep.
Whatever team I got cut from or whatever restaurant that didn't work out. And like
somebody
literally I
else
met
that
my
did
wife, I closed a restaurant. I had a restaurant with my last name called Blais,
Okay.
and it closed. It was my first real restaurant. We were only open for a few months. It's a horrible business.
So
It's
that's-
hard.
all right, gotcha, yeah.
And I remember I met my wife though in that restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And the restaurant closed, and we just sat on this hill, just crying our eyes out. I had like minus $600 in my pocket, and it's like one of the biggest failures I've ever had, but the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
Because from that little moment, tears. I lost a restaurant. I gained my wife basically in those moments, and like
That's
I would
amazing.
never trade that.
Yeah,
in.
right, exactly. It seems like everybody always has to prove something or want to prove something. But if you need to prove something to yourself, what would that be as far as like something that maybe you haven't accomplished or something that you want to do or prove to yourself that you can do?
You know what? I'm really, this is hitting me where like we have some common ground here, I think, is like, I don't want what I'm doing to ever end. Like, I think that's my ultimate goal, is that I'm doing a lot of cool, exciting things, and I just don't ever want that to end. So like what I'm trying to prove is that I can keep it going forever and never have to stop growing, learning, doing new things, testing myself.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, for me, it's it's the same thing in the sense of proving and just always learning. But it's one of those things that if it would end, tomorrow, if the end of the world would say, hey, the end is about to explode, what do you have to say about that? I'm like, you know what? I at least lived my life.
That is the truth. That's the goal, secret to life, isn't
Enjoy.
it? Like, are you doing what you love and it doesn't feel like work? Then you're successful. Love it.
Yeah, brother.
Listen, I also, you said it right there, like you mentioned end of the world. So like this is a question that chefs can't stand. But what's your last meal?
Last meal?
And who's it with?
Ooh, who's it with?
And
Wow.
paint the picture. It's an asteroid strike.
Can it be
So
many?
this
Can
isn't
it
like,
be a few people or just one person?
You can do it. This is your, like there's an
And
asteroid coming.
My last meal would be with my parents. I'd sit down with my parents. I think with my family. You know what I'm saying? My kids, people that I work. It was in my family. I'd have a good chicken parm and just sit there with a pasta and eat
dude.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, well, it kind of depends. I have to paint the picture. So like again, asteroid strike. I do think it's It's either that big Italian meal, because you already said that though. I'm gonna go.
It's okay.
It's just a double cheeseburger with like, it's even like some takeout.
It's a good one,
because who
yeah.
wants to cook? When there's only an hour left. Who wants to cook?
Right.
So we're getting some takeout. I think it's gonna be burgers and fries. And
Perfect.
like, at that point, right? Who's worried about calories? Let's go.
Nobody. Let's go. What really brings people together? Is it food or is it music?
I think truly, like in a world that is so divided in this moment, it is food and music. Not just because you and I are here, but I think because food and music are both emotional, right? There's nothing else involved with it besides like, it takes you back to the first time you tasted something, the first time you heard something that made you move your leg a certain way, and it's just like all emotion.
Yeah, it's a memory. A lot of times, obviously, it brings you back to the times where certain times were simpler or fun, or yeah, exactly like you said. Eating that hot dog for the first time, going, okay, remembering, being at the ballpark or something like that, or your first slice of pizza.
Like even when I'm creating a restaurant, like you have to have the right playlist for the food that's being served. But it has to work. And I think it's the one thing that the world has common ground in, is that you can be mad about so many different things, the sports team you like, whatever it is. But, I think we can all agree a lot of the time on what food we love to eat and what music we want to listen to.
Yeah, no, 100%. What's the first thing most people do when they eat? They dance. And I think that's what's so funny about it. It does go hand in hand in that sense,